Reading from the Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta, Volume 1, Chapter 1, Text 70. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mune viśiṣṭas tatrāpi teṣām indraḥ purandara. Nigrahe pīśo. Vṛṣṭibhir loka-jīvanaḥ. Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Taksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vanchakalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, greetings from the Nilachala home, formerly known as Jack's Place, which is a very, right now, at least while I'm in America, an ideal residence for me. And I'm sitting in my bhajan kutir. I didn't read the verse. My dear sage, the most distinguished of these demigods is Purandara Indra. He has full power to reward and punish, and he gives the world life by providing rain. So we've been studying this seminal work by Sanatana Goswami. And I do believe I can give shorter and shorter summaries at the beginning. But we were honing on the words Parama, Dasha, Antim, Parama the topmost, Dasha stage, Antim. That's what the book is about. That's what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give. And that's what Sri Narada is looking for in his search. The topmost recipient of Krishna's mercy. And the topmost recipient of Krishna's mercy is one who's been bestowed with the Paramadasha Antim. It's like the Parama Dasha Antim of milk is its cream. The essence is the cream. So it's like that with bhakti, love for Krishna. Difference between bhava and prema is the difference between the sun rays and the sun. The sun rays have laxity. It's the same as the sun, but it has laxity, and the sun has density. So that density is called prema. Bhava is like the sun rays. Prem ankur. It's the sprout of prem. And prem is the full flower. The example is given of Bhishma Dev, nectar of devotion. I've quoted that many times. That person who's fought in many battles, that person who's spoken many subjects, he just concentrated on Krishna. And this is what our whole bhakti process is. It's like cooking milk into rubbery, the sweet, where there's to cook and cook and cook. or sugar and molasses, just getting thicker and thicker and thicker. So that's what our spiritual process is becoming nishta, becoming fixed. So there's no laxity in our day, in our consciousness. And that's the perfection of life. And that's what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give. And he's explained that subject to Sanatana Goswami. We've heard that before. And with Sanatana Goswami, he gives him many missions to establish that, both the rules of bhakti and also the rules of behavior. Hari Bhakti Vilas, and also the philosophy, which includes the prayojana, or the goal. The prayojana is experiencing and feeling reality, which is our relationship with reality, which is love, and feeling that in the most intense way. That's the goal. And that's what should be our objective. Prema Pumartha Mahan. We should, the artha, the goal, prema, goal, maha artha, prema pumartha mahan. It's the greatest goal is love. And that type of love, because that is also the essence of Krishna's pleasure potency. And we are, after all, seeking happiness. And our faith is that happiness is there by some kind of experience of it. And then our spiritual life is anartha vritti, kind of in a progressive, intelligent, organic way, getting rid of those things which have no value to God. Our attachments can have value to God if they are required to keep the mind and body together for the higher purpose of God. That's called yukta vairagya, balanced detachment. But this is our goal, and everything is forcing us to it. Because if we act against our nature, which is jivera sarupahoy, Krishnara nityara das, we're the servants of Krishna. If we act against our nature, we suffer. And that suffering is God's grace to let us know that we're doing something wrong. We're doing something wrong. We have, and it makes sense with everything we know. Love is the best thing, and the highest love is universal love. Twasmin parama prema rup, the highest form of love is to God. And that's our eternal reality. And we have so many samskars and so many impressions and so many misconceptions that there's something else that is the goal. So this book is going to explain it. And it does two things, really. It gives a strategy. It gives the essence. The essence is the strategy. The strategy is to give the essence. That's the strategy. That's the strategy also of the Bhagavatam. Because the Bhagavatam ultimately is a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, which is a summary philosophical exposition of the Vedas. Buri, Burini, Karmani, the sages of Namaśranya. There's so many things, it's too much. Give us the ultimate and absolute good. So it's a summary, and it's also the essence. And we see that in three ways in the Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta 1. That's what Sanatana Goswami has to do, because that's what Lord Chaitanya did. Because that's what Srila Vyasadeva did. He had to communicate the Vedas, and to communicate the Vedas, he had to make it accessible, and he had to extract the essence, otherwise people would get lost. And take that risk when you're so direct, you could lose your audience, because a lot of preaching and a lot of the Vedas, etc., is just to move people along gradually and, give them a sense of transcendence, detach them from this world. But there's no time in the Kali Yuga where Prayenal Ba, the life, Prayenal Ba, it's Alpa, it's very small. And somehow or other, because we're so fallen, that we're ready to hear the truth, because we can't do anything else. we can't do any other indirect process. We need the truth. And somehow or other, the combination of our humility and the combination of Vyasadeva's realization how to do it, and the combination of Srila Prabhupada's ability to conceptualize it and express it, we have it. Just like Prabhupada in that garden in LA. Prabhupada said, Krishna is God, why won't you accept it? And faith is beyond the intellect, it's an experience. I got faith to join the temple just from getting a Rasgula from Prabhupada. I swear to God, right in my hand. Bit into it, and somehow or other I was changed. Of course, Prabhupada makes it clear that coming to Krishna consciousness is not just an electric shock, that the guru goes bam, but it's not an intellectual process either, but it's by the service of offering our intellect to Krishna, we can Vidhami buddhi yogam tvam yena mam upayanti te. If one who worships me with faith and devotion, I give them the knowledge by which they come back to me. So anyway, Sanatana Goswami has to make this summary. And he tells a story where Jaimini Rishi, and I'm not going over all the details because you've all been with me, when Jaimini Rishi has to give a summary, and his summary is about Maharaj Parikshit having to give a summary to his mother. So that summary of the Bhagavatam, the cream, the essence, in a digestible way, in a story form, an intriguing story form. Because when you want to give the untim, the end, if you want to explain the end, you have to show everything else in relationship to the end to show that it's the end. The end doesn't stop. The end doesn't stand on its own. The end is in relationship to everything else. And in showing those stages, as we follow the template of this book, which is Narada Muni looking for the topmost recipient of Krishna's mercy. And in that template, in that search, we begin to see this prema. We begin to see this cream, this beautiful sweetness of the heart, which is called bhakti. We begin to see it in different ways and on different levels. And we saw it first with the Brahmin, who is very, very opulent. And I think we take that out. We see in the midst of the accoutrements of power, one not being interested in power. That really shows the devotion. In the accoutrements of power, not being interested in power. That's what attracted Lord Chaitanya when Maharaj Prataparuja swept the cart. The Dhanam, the Janam, the Sundarim, Kavitam Va, Jagadisha Kamaye, Mama Janmini, Janmi Eshwari, Bhavatad Bhakti Hoitaki Twayi. I don't want. Janmaishvarya Shruta Shrivir, Edamana Madapunam. No intoxication with material position. That's mercy. So we saw it with the Brahmin, and then we saw it even more with the king, who had even more opulence, but wouldn't even possess it. Money we become attached to because it's power. We have a little token to move the world around according to our desires. But doing so and being attached to doing so, that moving the world around according to our desires, which is the essence of the false ego, can also become fortified. Which is why Krishna can, what is it? Tad anugrahami, tad dani, something when I'm merciful, I can take away. And if I look at the list of the kind people who've come to listen to my class, I could look at all your tragedies in life, every single one of you. I'm going down the list, and I know you all, and I know each one of you is suffering in tragedy as the world moved around your desire. And I could also look how you incorporated that into the mercy of God, which moved you towards reality and the position that can ultimately be satisfying and giving you happiness. But we forget that, and that's why nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevya. That's why regularly hearing the Bhagavatam, hearing this, so we have a glimpse of reality in our consciousness. Otherwise, we can easily become bewildered. So then, the king, because one of the features of the Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta is that we see the recipients of Krishna's mercy are very humble people. If you're not humble, you haven't yet received Krishna's mercy. Because a prideful person has no love in his heart. If you're not humble, you haven't received Krishna's mercy. So they're all humble. Because when you have a clear consciousness, you're able to see the opulence of God, you're able to see your own relative insignificance, and it's very clear what your faults are. And when your consciousness is not clear, you cannot see God's opulence, you cannot see your own insignificance, and you certainly can't see your faults. We love legitimately humble people are the most attractive people to us. If we think legitimately humble people. So the king So he was therefore embarrassed by the praise. His kingdom, he put his kingdom, the thing that really highlighted to me, although his kingdom was so devotional, we went over that many, many times, he wouldn't possess it. He gave it all away to the deities. So he was embarrassed by the praise. Embarrassed by the praise. And he saw his human condition. It was very clear in his consciousness. And he saw that he had no independence. And he saw to the extent that he identified with the body, he was fearful. And how he was ruled by the modes. And then he pointed to the demigods, who, in comparison, relatively thing, they're sinless, incredible pious work. Even one purport in the Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta, it says 100 Ashvamedha yajnas to take the post of Indra, horse sacrifices, and how can anyone, because you have to do them all perfectly. So what is the consciousness and the control? And then, and they're in goodness, and they're free from material inebrities, and therefore they have Krishna's mercy in that way. And we're going to see how that mercy really manifests in that, at least because he's ultimately going to point, the king's going to say the demigods, but he's going to point to Indra, who's the king of heaven, and especially his sinlessness, his piety in this way, and that life, the free from material inebrities, enabled him to put God within his consciousness and enabled him to have his brother, who is Vamanadev, live in his kingdom, where he worshiped. He was the king, but a higher throne was God. So no envy. So now we'll read about Indra and see how far we get there. Maybe some of this, I like to comment, I think it's easier for people to follow. But I don't know how much, it's just descriptions, but we'll read it. Loka-jīvanaḥ yasya yuganam ekasaptatim 71 yashvamedha shitenapi sarvabhaumasya durlabha. He rules the 3 planetary systems for 71 celestial ages, a length of sovereignty no mundane king could earn, even by 100 horse sacrifices. So it seems he rules for a day of Lord Brahma, 71 times 4,300,000. Hoya Uchai Shrava Yasya Gaja Arabito Mahan Kamadu Gor Upavanam Nandanam Cha Varajate. Uchai Shrava is his horse, and Arabita his mighty elephant. His cow can be milked for any desire, and his garden is the resplendent Nandanandana. So he has unlimited opulence, which is also given by God. So your suffering is given by God, your opulence is given by God, and you can use either. And God will give you either, depending on which at the time will help you come closer to him. And both are meant to be used. for Krishna's service, in terms of bringing us closer to him. Theoretically, one can attain the post of Indra by performing 100 faultless Ashwamedha sacrifices, but even the rare king competent to attempt such performances is almost sure to commit some mistake. In the course of them, Indra's horse and elephant are greater than all others because they were born from the churning of the milk ocean. Parijata deo yatra vartante kama puraka kama rupa darakalpa druma kalpa latanvita. In that garden are desire trees like Parijata, whose flowers yield whatever one may wish. These trees adorned with desire-yielding creepers assume whatever form one may like. There is a Parijata in Vrindavan, which is a small white flower with a beautiful orange stem, and I described, you just put a cloth under the tree and the tree rains the flowers at night. I am going back now, I think, in 3 weeks, I'm going back to, Krishna told me, I really feel that way, to go to my place in Govardhan and perform some devotional austerities for Purushottama Mas. But the flowers in Vrindavan for the deity worship are just, and that time of the year when it rains, everything is so green. But the idea is to take a time of the year just for Krishna, nothing else. Yesham ekena pushpena yata kaman susidyati vichitta gita vaditra nitya vishashanadikam. Every single flower from those trees can satisfy one's desires, whether for wonderful songs and music, splendid dances, bright clothing and ornaments, good food, or anything else. So they are kalpa vriksha trees. Kim bhachyam param tasya subhagyam bhagavan gata kanishta bṛhad-tritam yasya vishnur vamano rupadrik. And oh, how I can even describe Indra's greatest fortune. The personality of Godhead Vishnu has taken the form of Vamanadev and has become his younger brother. Some bandha relationship. That's ultimately what we're all looking for, is relationship. It's the most important thing that nourishes our whole existence, materially and spiritually. The most important thing in this world is relationship. And the most important thing in the spiritual world is relationship. And the ultimate relationship is with God. Others are temporary. Our eternal relationship is with God. And we all pray that one day we can feel that. And that's what Prabhupada came to give. Apadbhyo yam ashaurakshan harshyam yena vistatam sakshad svi kurite pujam tadvetsi tvam utaparam. Lord Vamana encourages Indra by shielding him from dangers and by accepting in person the elaborate worship Indra offers. But of course, you already know this and much more. So now this is real mercy, protection of God, and him appearing to accept our love. Now that's mercy, and what that must feel like in the heart, and what that heart must be to qualify to want that. Purport: Lord Vamana is not Indra's brother only in theory. He acts as younger brother should, allowing Indra the pleasure of taking care of him. Indra insists on worshiping as God, but Vamanadev reciprocates by gracefully accepting the offerings in person. Thus ends the first chapter of part 1 of Srila Sanatana Goswami's Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta, entitled Oma, on the earth. So now the next section, Divya, in the heavens, because he's still on the earth, but they're talking about the heavens. Now he'll actually go to the heavens. And of course, who is hearing this? Parikshit Maharaj. Not Parikshit Maharaj, but Uttara, who is speaking this. It's Parikshit Maharaj to his mother. So he says, Shri Parikshit Uvacha, Prashasya tam Maharajam, Swargato Munir Ikshita, Rajamanam Sabha Madhye, Vishnum Deva Ganabritam. Sri Parikshit said, after praising the great king, Narada made his way to heaven. There in the assembly hall, he saw Lord Vishnu in all his brilliance, surrounded by the host of demigods. Purport: in the first chapter, Narada Muni begins his search for his dearest devotee of Krishna by investigating comparative excellence in the devotional service on earth. In the second chapter, Narada sees the superior devotion of Lord Indra and Lord Brahma. They are perfect servants of God. They're in Dasiras. Sometimes Lord Brahma, I was reading, has some Sakiras too. Vichitra Kalpadruma Pushpamala Valepa Bhusha Vasanamratadye Samarchiyatam Divyatarapach Samarpiyatam Divyataropacharai Sukhopavishtam Gaurudasya Prishte. He was decorated with sandalwood pulp, divine ornaments and garments, and a garland made of varied flowers from desire trees. Sitting comfortably on the back of Garuda, he was worshipped with celestial offerings. So part of love is also accepting love. That's also part of love. Because you're facilitating another person's emotional heart. Vihaspati prabrittibi stuyamanam maharshibi lalyamanam adityatam harshiyantam priyoktibi. Brihaspati and other exalted sages praised his glories, and Mother Aditya pampered him. He in turn delighted each of them with his affectionate comments. I remember in the class, I really liked that statement by Prabhupada that Krishna is responsive. I'm this Monday morning greetings, I have to start the next one, and it's whatever idea comes. So I'm thinking of, I was reading the Kaliya pastime, Krishna is described as Adi Guru Kalatra, the original guru of all the arts. The point was connected, but I forgot it. Siddha Vidyardra Gandharva vṛṣṭibhir viśiṣṭas jayashabdhir vājagita nityascha paritoshitam. Siddhas, Vidyadharas, Gandharvas, and Apsaras recited prayers. They cried all glories to you and sang, danced, and played music, all for his pleasure. So the assembly hall, Vamana is sitting down, he's garlands and sandalwood pulp, and all the planets of the dancers and planets of the singers, planets of the musicians and planets of the reciters. This is what they do. They love. And their music and their talents are an expression of their devotion. And it goes beyond anything we can visualize, because there's a bob there. They're just floating in this energy that's coming from their hearts of devotion as they're looking at Vamanadev. Oh yeah, and he's responsive, and he's giving, glances and comments. It's such a beautiful thing. Shakraya vayam uchotya daityebhyo tadatam dritam kirtyap yamanam tambulam shravantam lilayavritam. In words that all can hear, the Lord assured Indra that he cannot be afraid of the Daityas. Kriti Devi offered the Lord betel nut, which he gracefully accepted and chewed. So just the shelter of God. We're all, what is that? Vipatu Shantu Tashashvat Tat calamities, troubles. Even everyone here, there's some trouble. You're in Russia, there's a war. You're in America, there's politics, there's this, there's that, there's economic, there's and threats by the world is threatened by evil people. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Prabhupada made it clear there's the demons and the devotees, and there are demons that are seeming to get more powerful and want more power, and there's so much anxiety and regimes and so many things. And then the Lord's voice says, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. You have complete protection from me because you have taken shelter of me. Just like the cowherd boys, they thought it could be a python. They went in their mouth. Anyway, if we made a mistake, Krishna will save us. And we should be abhayam. We should also be fearless, because Krishna is our protector. Okay. Purport: Narada saw the demigods worshiping Lord Vamana in the assembly hall of Indra, the Lord's elder brother. Srila Sanatana Goswami comments that the demigods were following one of two standards described in old textbooks on deity worship, like Vishnu Bhakti Chandrodaya, the common standard in which 16 items are offered for the Lord's pleasure, beginning with Padya and Arghya, waters, or alternatively, a more elaborate worship with 64 items. While the worship was being performed, the Lord's mother, Aditi, held his soft hands and cared for him in various ways. The siddhas recited prayers for his satisfaction, the Vidyadharas played musical instruments, the Gandharvas sang, and the Apsaras danced. The Lord told Indra not to fear the Daityas, for the Lord would protect him, if necessary, by killing all the demons. As he said this, he raised his right lotus hand in the gesture of fearlessness. Abhaya Dana Mudra. Then Kirti Dev, Lord Vamana's Kirti Devi, Lord Vamana's wife lovingly offered him some betel nut she had carefully prepared. He happily took it between his thumb and first finger and elegantly placed it in his mouth. Seeing all this, Narada was very much pleased. Although he had come to the court of heaven to meet Indra, he was first able to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead worshipped by the assembled devotees. The worship was appropriate because Lord Vamana is the most important residence of the heavenly region. In this scene, the Lord not only showed his supremacy, but also revealed his favor towards him by accepting his worship. Anyway, we're going to stop right here. This is just where it ends. Jamunajaya, what is your reflection today? And then anybody else has any reflections can share it.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. I have a lot of reflections, but I won't share them all. This is just such a beautiful section. But one of the things that right away when you said it, and you've said it before, but a legitimately humble person we love. And I love that you qualified it with legitimately humble. And the minute you said that, I always think of Rukmini Walker. And there was a scene a couple of years ago, we did the Govardhan Hill pastime. And she played this Sarabi cow coming with Lord Indra at the end. And I'll never forget, it was so quiet in the Bhakti Center hall as she approached with her hands together. And that wasn't acting. It was so legitimately humble, so that whenever that word comes out, I remember that picture because there she was, like totally embodying that. So I was just really struck by that. And also just really quickly, this I never really registered that Vamana Dev was Indra's brother. That is such an amazing thing in this, and this beautiful scene about that he is being worshipped, and that Narada is so moved by able to see this worship of the Lord. So there are many other things, but those are two of the things that really stood out to me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maharaj.
That's nice. Anybody else? Gail? Okay. Anybody else like to say hello?
Hey, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hey, Rasik. Mallory, Haribo. We'll see you soon. Okay, thanks you for coming on. Great. Haribo. Oh, you have to drive someplace to get internet there now?
Raghu and Mara are doing the podcast right now, so there's not enough internet at the house.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's pretty good. I beat out Wisdom of the Sages today. I'm the #1 podcast now. How do you go?
You are.
Okay. Haribo, anybody else say hello?
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Hello, Govinda.
And Bṛhad, thank you for class.
Wow. You cut hair tomorrow too?
No.
Sunday Malaya for both of us.
Oh, you're off anyway, so you don't get because it's a holiday, right? Everybody gets off. No?
Yeah, I think Tuesday's a holiday. I'll be cutting hair on Tuesday.
Okay.
A happy Father's Day, Maharaj.
Yeah, happy Father's Day.
Wow. Okay. Haribo. Thank you so much. Good. Is that what today is? Wonderful. Okay. Anybody else say hello?
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
Jai Sri Radhe.
I was listening about how Lord Brahma and Lord Indra is the ideal and the most top servants of the Lord, and I was thinking that both of them have leelas when they bewildered and they committing some offenses towards Lord.
So that gives you hope? Well, what happens is sometimes people worship Lord Brahma or Indra as supreme. or Shiva.
Mm-hmm.
So in Leela, there has to be examples where Krishna is superior to them.
Mm-hmm. So that's the lesson. Mm-hmm.
So that we have exclusive bhakti. But Brahma also manifests as Haridas Thakur. So it's not an ordinary folk. And sometimes, like Arjuna's ignorance in the Bhagavad Gita is that birds in your place?
Priya has budgies.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Just like Arjuna's ignorance in Bhagavad Gita is also the Bhagavad Gita. So only great devotees can play this role, like Jagai and Madhai are Jai and Vijay, the gatekeepers at Vaikuntha. So their mistakes are not like ours. Okay.
Thank you for explanation, Guru Maharaj, and happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Jai Sri Radhe. Jai Sri Radhe. Haribol. Anybody else say hello?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Here.
Thank you, Shori Radha.
Oh, Haribol. Jai.
Happy Father's Day.
Oh, thank you.
Happy Father's Day.
Well, now I'm a sannyasi and have all these kids. People can be suspicious. Okay. Anybody else say hello?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Now the second year.
Okay, nice.
Thank you for the class and happy Father's Day.
Okay. All right. No, there's okay. That's the last happy Father's Day for me. But not enough bandwidth to see your farm. Okay. Anybody else like to say hello?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Srila Radhika here.
Jai, great. Tehran, very wonderful. Okay.
Hare Krishna Gurudev.
Okay, and your mother is where? In Kish?
No, I'm here, Maharaj. I am in the traffic in Tehran.
Oh, you're in the
Hare
traffic.
Krishna.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was listening. Thank you very much for the
I
class.
heard that Tehran has the worst traffic.
Yes, it has. It has. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else say hello?
Thank you very much. Haribol.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, this is Hemalata Radha.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, Shankishar.
Haribol. Wow, is it cold there?
Yeah.
Yes, getting winter here, Maharaj.
Yeah, place looks nice. You got that Sri Radhe thing, and it looks like your place is coming together. But anyway, we will all join together in 3 months.
Yes, Maharaj.
Oh, wait, you came back from Dhanurdhara Maharaj's place?
Yes, we were there for one week.
Yeah.
It was really wonderful, Maharaj.
Yeah, it was.
He's really special. I know him for like 30, 40 years. He was.
Yes, he asked about you.
Oh, good. You told him I'm well?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, Maharaj.
He was a dentist before.
Yeah.
He's done such incredible stuff with education. What's his place like? It's like a farm or a...
Yes, Maharaj is like a farm, a big space they have different like houses. So they have ashram for the ladies, another ashram for the boys, and then they have some people helping them with the deity worshiping, and one person, and then is the couple that is Devaki and Mitravinda, and then there is one small house for Maharaj. And then they have 2 like spaces to teach,
like domes.
I think it's
how big is the property?
It's I think almost 4 acres. I don't know how much is that in
8 acres.
8 acres? Oh, 8 acres. I thought it was smaller.
Where is it? He's from Brazil though, isn't he?
Yes, Maharaj is from Brazil and it's cold here, so he was
his place is in Argentina, but he lives in Brazil.
No, he has 2 places now. One in Brazil, which is the original institute for education, which is called Jalatuta. And now the second place is here in Argentina because he wants to promote this moving of people. Like now there are some people from Chile, Uruguay, Brazil, Paraguay that are coming to Argentina. And also he wants people from Argentina and other countries maybe to go to Brazil. So he'll be doing it maybe 1 year here and 1 year in Brazil. He will be.
Well, that's great that you got to spend some time with him. Okay, if you see him next time, send him my obeisances, okay?
No, Maharaj. He's coming at the end of the month here.
To your place?
Yeah.
Not to our place, but to the farm. He's staying in a friend's, a neighbor's house.
How long?
4 or 5 days, yes.
Okay, we'll send him my regards, okay?
We will, Maharaj.
Okay. Anybody else like to say hello?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Oh, Hare Krishna. Good to see you.
Hare Bol. Thank you for your class. Thank you so much.
We hope to see you again soon in India sometime. Good. Okay, great. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for class.
Who's that?
Amala, Vaishnav.
Okay, we'll see. Amala, great. You coordinate that. We'll see you next week.
Yes, definitely.
We're having a program in Jai Shri Radhe's next week. Many locals probably know about it with Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta Swami. So that's going to be exciting. He's one of our favorites. Just the facts. Look, you see the picture of Amala with all his things there? All his beads and everything and tattoos. When we went to Barsana, I was giving class. He was sitting by the side. And the people came and paid respects to him. They thought he was the guru. They saw all those big beads. Thought he must have something. Okay. One more?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Oh, Catalina. Okay. I'll see you in a few weeks. No, a few months. A few months.
Thank you for class.
Love
to see you again.
Give my regards to your daughters, okay?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, Haribol. Okay. Wow. Good.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Amala, thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Amala Kamala.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Jai.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'm looking at the list. I see all the names, so I see everybody who's there. So I will go now. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha.